Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. Warnie, thank you for joining. Can you tell everyone where you're located, how long you've been in real estate, and then I'd love you just to share some of your experience.
Okay. Uh, I'm Warnie Shaw, and we're located in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Um, it's the eastern part of Tennessee, right on the Tennessee and Georgia line. And basically, I've been in real estate for 11 years and been working with Christina for almost 2 years, or going on 2 years. Excuse me. The last year was my best year in real estate. Prior to that, I've been in real estate, I guess, 9 years, and my very best year was last year. I was 45% over my sales for last year, and basically, I attribute most of that towards this lady right here. I'm really just thankful that we crossed paths, because it really made a huge difference in my business, um, and it's continuing to do that. Right now, we've added some things that I haven't implemented prior, which is a VA,
Yeah.
and that VA has really made a huge difference also in my business. And so it's just implementing some of the things that she's suggested, and she's very relatable, so she interacts
Well,
well with where
well,
you are, whatever
uh,
level that you're on.
a lot of it is it's your passion, and I am a firm believer that God puts people in paths for the right reason at the right time. So
Agreed.
it for you, you have such a passion for helping people going through a foreclosure. And I know you have a role at the foreclosure auctions. Can you tell people what that is, and maybe why foreclosures, and then we'll dive into a little bit more.
Okay, sure. The uh, basically, I'm the crier down at the courthouse, so I'm the one who cries out the properties going to sale, and it's also for people just entering into real estate. It's also a great place to meet some of the investors. If you have no knowledge of um, the process, this is definitely a way to just introduce yourself to investors, to just observe. And once you observe, you have some idea of who the players are, who the people that have the cash. So if you're looking for buyers, it's no better place to find a buyer than to come to an auction, because they have cash money, and then you can just see and then introduce yourself and explain exactly what you do. So I love to basically encourage people to definitely come to the auctions, and
How long have you been doing, how long have you been a crier at the foreclosure auctions?
4 years.
Wow. I'm sure that's another interview and another story on how that you got to that role. So you're at the foreclosure auction for 4+ years, to just being part of it. How many auctions a month are you doing right now?
I'd say maybe now it's picked up, and of course it's all dictated by the market, but right now I would say for the month maybe about on an average 10 to 12.
10 to 12 auctions. And so you're seeing an uptick in foreclosures.
Yes,
In your particular state. And in your state, it has a fraction of what other states have.
exactly.
I looked up yesterday, Cook County, Illinois, that's where Chicago is. They have 12,000 currently. Can you imagine? You would be at that 100 million overnight if you had 12,000 that we spoke about. Okay, so what I'm hearing is foreclosure auction, learn how to locate where those are, Go there as an agent and observe, get to know the real cash buyers that are there.
Right.
So for you, I know you do. There's a few things I want to spotlight here with foreclosures. So
Right.
you, in your state, the reporting is not, I'd say, as easily available as some other states like Florida and California and a few
Right.
others. You have to go to certain sites to be able to find those foreclosure attorneys. How often do you do that? And why?
Well, I did prior to some of the things that you had suggested. I did it. I did it myself daily. And matter of fact, this is kind of getting back to coaching and getting back to you specifically pointing out just different areas for me to maximize my time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did this daily for the last 9 years for the most part.
Wow.
And of course, what that entails is like approximately about 3 hours of your time, three, sometimes two, but about 3 hours of your time just trying to get contact information, names, trying to get phone numbers, and confirming the addresses. And since we've crossed paths, one of the things that you suggested to me was to leverage that time.
Yes.
And I leverage that time with a VA who basically does that now. And so that's freed up 3 hours of my time that I can now put towards making more touches, making more phone calls, making more, reaching more face-to-face
Reaching more families.
calls.
Yes. So those foreclosure auction attorney sites, you're looking at foreclosure sale dates and notice dates, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, one of the biggest things I want you to share, because most agents are terrified to door knock. People will pay tens of thousands of dollars for leads monthly. And for you, you've got such a high conversion rate when someone has a foreclosure sale date. What is your process when you're pulling that and going to the door?
Well, initially, we've probably reached out to them with either a text or a phone call initially.
Okay.
And so in most cases, they are familiar with who I am,
Okay.
and of course the purpose of me coming by. But on those situations where if they hadn't responded, and it is my very first time reaching out to them,
Mm-hmm.
those I'm just basically, I'll have a door hanger in my hand, in most cases, and I'll just knock on the door, and then just let that seller or that homeowner know that I'm just there to try to help if it's anything that I can do. And I guess I just refer to it as, I'm a distressed property specialist, and occasionally the banks make an error, but I just want to just be sure that have you had an opportunity to speak with your lender?
Okay.
And that more or less kind of just brings the anxiety, kind of breaks the ice, because I'm trying to more or less put it on the lender, because sometimes they do actually make mistakes in terms of an error with an address or an issue like that. But it just more or less breaks the ice for the homeowner, just knowing that well, this could be a mistake, and it just breaks ice, and then we can talk, and then at that point they can just open up. I just listen, and when they sometimes they'll let me know about what's going on, and sometimes it's just a process. It's just trying to build the relationship and build rapport, And first of all, just let them know that you're there to help. You're not there to try to uh, take their house,
Okay.
or you're there to try to just help. And then I normally, once we kind of get through that aspect of it, then at that point I'll try to point out uh, other options that they may have. I'll point out, well, do you have a 401k? Do you have any other resources to try to obtain the money to get the mortgage caught up? And so I'll go through maybe about 4 or 5 instances, 401k, or family and friends. Um, do you
So,
have?
so do you knock on the door
Yeah.
and then would you mind sharing when someone opens the door, what do you say? It's just hi?
No, I let them know first of all. My name. I'm Warnie Shaw with Keller Williams Realty, and I specialize in work with homeowners that may have a distressed property that's uh, potentially going in a foreclosure. I'm not really sure if this situation is you, because the banks occasionally do make errors, but I want to just be sure that if it is the case, I'm here to try to help you.
Perfect.
And that's more or less with each call. And then that way it's not so much anxiety for the homeowner, and it's not much anxiety for you, because you're just there to try to help.
Yeah.
And with
Love
that
that.
intent, then the homeowners are typically pretty receptive to any anything that you can do, or anything that you can suggest. Um, and if I can't help them, I'm just candid. But in 99% of the time, I can, we can get something resolved to try to assist.
I I love that. And I coming with contribution and value. So
Yes.
I want to end, Warnie, with, you know, again, a lot of people that are going to be listening to this, they're paying for leads. Maybe they're working in their sphere and their sphere isn't creating the financial results like it used to. So for you, when you I'd say started um working foreclosures, and let's just say in the last 6 months or a year, I know your conversion is incredibly high because you're door knocking, you're coming from contribution, you're mailing, and you're
Right.
calling. When you go and say you go knock, I don't know, 10, 20 doors, what type of conversion rate are you getting to result in a sale?
I would say roughly about 20%. So at least out of those 10 properties uh, going by, yeah, I'd say at least 20%. And then the other thing too, with during the process, you would have a situation where um, from just making those calls, you're also uh, once the property uh, is up for sale, if you have it listed,
Mhm.
uh, then you can door knock some of those properties that are in the area, and just make them aware that, hey, we're planning on having a open house at this particular property. And so I do that as well, just to um, if a property is if we're having an open house with it for a property, just knock on like about 4 or 5 doors, and you more or less kind of, your confidence is being built as you, because in those situations, those people aren't in foreclosure,
Yeah.
and you're just going by just to let them know, hey, we're planning on doing a open house for this property that may be in foreclosure. They may not be aware of it, but by knocking on about 5 to 10 doors on one side of the house and 5 to 10 doors on the other side of the house, you're also networking, and you just, in those situations, you're just asking, well, oh, and by the way, do you know anybody else that may be looking to buy or sell or invest in real estate? we're having this open house just right down the street here. And so by doing that, then you're creating actions, you're creating opportunities, and sometimes you can acquire leads from just doing that.
Okay. I love that. And what I love is,
Sweat equity.
yeah, what I love is the sweat equity and getting back to basics. So what I hear
Right.
is, you don't have to pay and spend a ton of money on leads. You can take people that are going through a life event, you go knock on their door, you provide value.
Right, exactly.
You share with them how you can help. You also call, you also mail, but there is not, other than a referral, or I'd say a corporate relocation referral, there is not anything that creates as high of a conversion rate as people going through a foreclosure sale date. A lot of times we call it low hanging fruit, right?
Correct.
So when you go and you do your process, it's about a 20 to 25% conversion. So I want everyone to hear that. And that's something that I teach on a high level with implementation, the letters, the flyers, everything. In the path is, if you have 4 people going through a foreclosure sale date, it out of those 4, you're going to get 1 if you do Warnie's simple process. So, Warnie, I took way too much of your time. There's so much gold in just what you shared. And a lot of it is just getting back to basics. It is taking people through a life event and coming from contribution, and,
Right.
it's going to help make them an expert. So I appreciate you on every level for being here.
Thank you.